Hello, beautiful beings. Oh, thank you for stopping by and joining me. I have been having such good energy flow since Sunday when Jupiter went direct, and then Monday when Mercury went direct, and today I worked through some little sticking points, and wow, it's just all building momentum and feels really, really good. So here's what I gleaned today after watching first a Joshua Tongol new video that he put out just today, and I loved it. It's so helpful on the imaginal act, using your imagination. Always made, his videos are great, and I really appreciate them. And he's quick, he's to the point, and I can almost always glean something, and usually many good things out of his videos. So thank you, Joshua Tongol. Thank you. Then I was really vibing on that video that Joshua put out today, and I was driving, so I put on the Edward Art Supply hand series. I finished up 7, and then I was on to number 8 and got into number 9. And I've listened to the whole series, and I've listened to all of them multiple times, but I swear every time I glean, it breaks through every time. It just chips away, and more of it sticks, which is really great, But here's what I gleaned between Joshua's video and the Edward Art Supply Hands series is that something that the Edward Art Supply Hands series said was that you give yourself what you want, what you desire. I mean, this is from Neville Goddard in his writings and work. And, I was just talking to a very wonderful, dear friend of mine today about how it can be a learning curve, getting the hang of utilizing your imagination. I know it sounds kind of kooky, but when you are so practiced at looking at reality, looking at the way things are, using your logical, rational mind to figure and suss things out and problem solve and critical think, and that honestly, it can feel really unnatural to go straight to the imaginal act of what it is that you are wanting, what desire has come to you, and you can feel it because it feels good. But oftentimes what I found is that I stop myself. Fear and doubt can oftentimes derail a really juicy desire that I have, or another person can do it. My partner's a really great, he's been a wonderful mirror in person who brings his focus and perspective, and with the things that he says, the way he perceives and focuses on things, I oftentimes find myself feeling really resistant, or responding in resistance to his resistance towards whatever thing it is that I'm wanting, desiring, right? And I realized today, I don't ever have to be upset or riled up or, downhearted, or any of those things that can happen when you are kind of opening your heart and being like, I really want to take a chance and I want to do this thing, and but I don't know, it's like it's an unknown kind of, but you feel it. You feel like it could be amazing if you went for it. And with Neville Goddard's teachings, and honestly with the things that I listen to, helps me crack open where I get hung up and where I find myself kind of giving up or putting it aside, or just finding reasons to doubt myself. But this weekend, everything for me got really crystallized on Sunday, exactly what it is that I want to do, because I love a lot of things, and I have a lot of interests. I'm one of those people with my finger in many pies. I love to poke around and pick and choose and cherry pick and put things. I just like to do things my way, and I have always found it really hard to just pick one thing and go for that and be a responsible adult in that manner, like pick a career path and then just do that, nothing else, and then just let everything else be a hobby. But my hobbies, all the things that I explore and just fall in love with, they're so beautiful, and they feel so good to me that it's really difficult to just be like, pick a job that will bring me money and pay for things so that I can be, cover bills and stuff like that, which I've done and I do, but I want more. I want more than just doing the regular routine of getting by. And so, to go back to the imaginal act, where Neville Goddard says, give yourself the desire, just grant it. Give yourself that desire as soon as you have it. Just know that you deserve it. You are allowed to have that. And if you can practice feeling the the imagined feeling of how good it feels to know that you have what it is that you desire, that what you want is given to you, and that nothing is going to get in the way, there's not going to be any problems, that you get what you want, as though it has already happened. And you play in the imagined present moment of your own mind, of your own imagination. That's literally how you give it to yourself and experience the wish fulfilled before you see it in the observable what is. This really trips up a lot of people, and I am no exception. It's taken me quite some time to unravel my own narratives and patterns and all the things that I have been conditioned to keep myself in a certain space that isn't necessarily where I really want to be. And where I'm at is good, and I can feel good where I'm at by giving myself exactly what I want. All of it. There's nothing to hold back on. And I think the biggest hurdles can be not feeling stupid, not feeling like you're being a schmuck or delusional or wasting time or pie in the sky dreaming. I think, those are all voices that are outside of us, and they're connected to the false self. So the false self is full of, pushing insecurity and not feeling confident and feeling doubts and second guessing yourself and just, maybe just talking yourself out of it using your logic and your reasoned mind. And that has its, that mind has its place, but you don't need it in your imaginal space. In your imagination, when it comes to laying the foundation for the wish fulfilled, your wish as though it is fulfilled, all you need is to give yourself permission, because you're completely lining up with your true self when you're doing that. The imagination is like your God room, the room where you and God play in secret, and you create whatever it is in the unseen world. Your mind, your imagination, that's the space where that happens. And then you do not worry about the details, or making it happen, or figuring out how it's going to happen, or planning or plotting or mapping it out, because that is 100% the part for the unseen world to set up for you. And this is also the other thing that can trip up people who are really focused on adulting and being logical and reasonable and rational, is that they think they have to be in control and plan everything out and figure it all out themselves. I am absolutely certain when I say the unseen world has you covered. The unseen world has your back. And if you can just go with it and trust the process long enough to allow it to do what it does perfectly, it will, like Abraham Hicks says, it will gather together all the cooperative components, and it will blow your mind. Things will happen in ways that you simply cannot yourself manage and organize. What it will do, though, is it will create for you opportunities and synchronicities, and unexpected things will happen that will set you on the path towards what it is that you put out there when you decided to play in your imagination and give yourself what you want. And to me, this is such a huge breakthrough, because it's so frustrating to know intellectually all the things and really jive with it and get that, but then to put it into practice, to actually apply it, that in and of itself can feel daunting when it doesn't feel natural, and you feel afraid because you want what you want, and it feels so important and so big, and it feels like you're being so vulnerable, and that it's too easy. It's just too easy for it to happen that way, that you got to get out there and work and struggle and fight and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and just do whatever you've got to do, right? And I'm just saying, that works for some people. That is not something that works for me like that. It drains me to come at it from that way. This has been the most satisfying way to focus and create this kind of allowing, where I can actually receive what I desire. And I now know that it's not being stuck in the focus or feeling of desire that's the key. That's actually doesn't always feel good. The desire comes up, then you give yourself what it is that desire symbolizes in your imagination with an imaginal act. You don't really have to put a huge amount of effort into that. You just you just enjoy it, and you see yourself doing whatever it is with whoever or whatever, as though you are already succeeding in the thing that it is that you desire, as though it's already been given to you, and you're just in there rocking it out, and like I said, it takes a little bit of practice to remember to do that instead of getting snagged up, or worse, falling into the little the little quicksand hole and struggling around in that, thinking that the observable what is what's dictating to you what you can do next, what you're going to be able to do according to these finite things outside of you, things that are, and not all of it's going to be outside of your control, but a lot of it is very linear. Time and money, and just they seem to depend on a lot of other things happening first, and that can then stretch it out on a really long timeline, and that can be really depressing, and it can kind of put your flame out. It can just kind of take the wind out of your sails when you do that. And I get it because I've having a human experience, and I'm well versed in all the things human. So for me, this is a really huge corner, and I'm finding that it's getting easier and easier for me to feel comfortable in giving myself what it is that I want without thinking that I have to go through certain channels or do certain things that would be expected of me, or that I've been told that's how you do it. It's like I'm finding new pathways, hidden entrances that are revealing themselves to me, because I'm simply giving myself what I want when the thoughts arise, when the feelings are tied into it, and I know that's a desire that I have that feels good to me. I know it by how it feels, and I just run with it now. I'm having fun with it, and I'm running with the imaginal act of it. And here's the thing. The universe is going to figure it out for me, how to lay it out, how I will proceed. I don't have to have the answers for that right away. But it does melt away the anxiety and the stress and the fear, and all my insecurities, and I can move through my day in a feeling of trusting and confidence that the unseen world has my back and that everything is working out beautifully for me. Now all these phrases that's always sounded really good to me, it's like I've popped them into the puzzle to the places where they really make sense, and I'm getting momentum from that now in ways that I wasn't before, because I'm not carrying a bunch of baggage with me that is all there because of the false self, because of things that other people have fed me through my life as, this is truth, this is the way it is, this is how things are done, it is what it is, like all that kind of, frankly, That's nonsense. Okay? And and it feels such a huge relief, because you have those bubbles burst enough times and you start feeling beat down by life. And you start believing that you can't have what you want. And man, as soon as that happens, the universe is like mirroring that shit right back to you. And then you're going, well, there's the evidence. I can't have what I want. Whoop, there's more evidence. I'm not worthy, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. And I'm telling you, that is a crock, and it's not how it has to be. And the only way that you can move out of that false self narratives is by moving into alignment with your true self, your inner beingness, the part of you that you truly are, because that's your connection. That's how everything you want comes about. And so in your imaginal act, it may not come out looking exactly cookie cutter the way that you imagined it, but man, not only will it be as good, it oftentimes ends up being better than what you were exploring with your imagination on it. And it never fails to dazzle and now, it doesn't mean that crazy stuff won't happen at times, because it does. I've had, in the last 4 years, 3 major life trauma events, okay, that change you. In 2017, in October, my partner Charles and I, our house burned down. And my husband has undiagnosed Asperger's. He's totally on the scale. He knows this. He diagnosed himself. I fully support him and stand by his unprofessional diagnosis, because it's textbook. And that in and of itself is a huge learning curve, especially when you're going through a life trauma. And for him especially, the house burning down was massive. And we had a hard year. Actually, we had a hard year and a half from that. And it was just a lot on us. And then we made it to 2018. We bought our property, and now we have almost 20 acres, and it is insanely beautiful where we live, and the life that we're building is amazing. And we're homesteading, and we live in geodesic dome, and we've got a geodesic dome kitchen. We've got all these really cool things going on. But I didn't know any of the stuff that I just was talking to you about, or a little bit in this video. I knew a lot about Abraham Hicks, but I didn't really find out about Neville Goddard and Joshua Tongol and Florence Scovel Shinn and so many other really amazing YouTubers and people that put out amazing content until last year. But so 2018, we were homesteading, and then we spent the winter with a very dear, the most amazing human being on the planet who let us live with her at her B&B. And we all just kind of therapized with each other and helped each other, and just, all of us just worked on being supportive and caring and as gracious to one another as we could possibly be, and that helped. So by the spring, Charles and I moved back to our property because we didn't winter out here in a tent. I was like, not down for that. I'm not a hardcore, let's live in a cave and struggle. That was a little too much for me. And I also had a young, I want to say he was 15 at the time, son living with me. So, then 2019 rolled around and we were doing good. I had a great job. Charles was doing great. I mean, we were making a lot of progress. In 2019, we were feeling a lot of love and healing from just being in nature. And then my 27-year-old son, Taryn, died in just a tragic accident at the end of October, November 1st. And I can tell you that my world basically fell apart. And it's been almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years come the end of this month, October 31st. And I'm able to laugh and smile and just feel joy again. But it wasn't easy, and I really did a lot of deep diving to find tools to help myself, because I'm not going to give up. I still have 2 sons that I love so much, and I have a beautiful life, and my son Taryn's been with me every step of the way, giving me signs and just doing everything that he can from the other side. I know this. And then just last week, we were in a car accident, and it totaled our car, and now we are getting a new car. But it's just, I'm telling you all these things because it's like, I get it. Shitty things happen. Awful, life-altering things happen. But I could have given up. I could have let it eat my everything up until there was just nothing. I wouldn't have had anything to give to anyone, or myself especially. And I would have just lived the rest of my life out, basically waiting to die and being miserable, and that's not me. And that's certainly not what my sons would expect from me, all 3 of them. So I'm telling you this. This has worked for me, and I've been through some pretty hellish experiences in the last 4 years. And if I can look at you with my entire heart and soul and tell you that I have found my key to creating the life experience that I want to live, and I feel better than I have felt in 4 years, yes, but even still, much longer. Really pretty much my whole life. So, except for when I was a really little child and I was pretty happy-go-lucky. I'm creating my own story, my own narrative now. I am finding the ways to give myself exactly what it is that I want. And I am also giving myself permission to have that in however way it comes about. And I'm not pushing or stressing or trying to micromanage or do the universe's job. You know, the unseen world has that part covered. And all I have to do is do me. Just sit in my beingness, because I'm valuable just being me, and I'm self-caring. I'm taking care of myself, my true self, by putting no mind to anything that comes to me that reeks of the false self. And I have been training myself to do this, and I have been practicing this focus. And I'm telling you that I am getting pretty doggone good at it. So, yeah, I want to finesse it. I want to tweak it a bit. But I am having a lot of fun, and I'm excited about the future and about my life. And I love my life. I love everything. I love my body. I love my heart. I love how I can connect with people. I have no problem even with the negative emotions that I have struggled with. I just found a way to drop a lot of baggage and not let it rule me and dictate to me how I'm going to respond or react. I've taken control of my own beautiful ability to choose how I want to feel, choose what I want to experience, choose what I want to create in my life. And I'm, without any hesitation, any doubts, I'm courageously choosing to imagine that I have what I want, and then I'm letting the universe take care of the rest, and I'm just finding things to do that content me. I do art. I hang out and I have great conversations with my son or other people, and I find things to occupy my time that I genuinely enjoy. Some people would say that I'm distracting myself, but I feel that now, rather than a distraction, where I would have absolutely agreed with that, even a few days ago, really, I see it now as I'm vibrationally choosing to be in the flow of doing something that feels better to me, and that puts me in a state of allowing and receptivity to what it is that I want. And that means that the universe, the unseen world, can deliver that to me without any difficulties in the eventually in the observable reality, in the 3D here. So I can see it with my senses, to taste it, touch it, smell it, all those to interact with it. And that comes from just being willing to step back and do me and let the universe do what it does, and then enjoying how it all finds its way into my life. And it just turn off my fan here, it's getting a little cool. It's better than anything that I could have, plotted out myself. So that's really that in a nutshell. This is the video that I've been deep in my heart wanting to make, but a few things needed to happen. Some energy shifts needed to come through, and that clarity just came in so hard in a beautiful, really, truly, just grace-filled way. And I get it now. And this is just the beginning. There's so much to be appreciated and explored. And I'm so grateful that you, if you stayed to the end of this video, that you've listened. And I would like to hear back from you. Anything that you've gleaned, anything that's working for you, maybe things that you struggle with, that you're looking for a little clarity on. doesn't have to be so hard. That's what I'm trying to say. Even when things are hard, you're not alone. You're loved more than you can even fathom. And I can tell that this is just the beginning. And I'm excited to build a really lovely space to share with you and others who get this and who find this and find that it resonates with them. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that your day is going beautifully and that you are feeling how much love and light you're surrounded by. Always. Until next time.